Now, let me just say here at the top that one of the reasons why this episode was delayed a day is that we've had very busy weeks. We hate to deprive the listeners of the shows, but we've had very busy weeks. And with that busyness, I know you haven't paid very close attention to social media and a lot of the things happening. So
over the past couple of days, I have not. I tweet generally when I'm printing orders out very early in the morning, and then I might come back at night to check things. But I've been incommunicado for a few days for most things.
I guess I'll ask you about this. Have you heard about Ryback, the former Ryback? I don't know if he's still Ryback, making comments about you.
I have not. Now,
let me ask one of these questions. This is
and Ryback, wasn't Ryback the guy that when he left the WWF, he was pissed because he said everybody on the card should get paid the same from the first match to the main event because we're all contributing to the show? Or was that him?
You know what? Now that you say that, that does sound right. I haven't thought about that in a while. That may have been him.
Because I don't know this fucking guy. So, and I haven't actually, I haven't seen him wrestle, but I heard CM Punk wasn't fond of his work. That's all I really know.
This question was sent in to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from William Cahill in Glasgow, Scotland. I caught a segment on Ryback's podcast. Well, boy, does everyone have a podcast now?
I'm pretty sure. Well, once it's successful for somebody like us, everybody's got to jump on the band. I don't mind people riding on the bandwagon. I wish they'd quit dragging their feet. I can't get everybody over at once.
I watched a segment of Ryback's show where he and his co-host basically berate you for 13 minutes over your comments on Becky Lynch. Basically, Ryback is telling us that you make these comments and cause controversy for attention and to make money. He goes on to say that your fan base basically thrive on this. In parentheses, it says, so insulting me indirectly. Speaks about you being misogynistic, about how Brian and yourself are a gimmick to get views and attention, and speak about how you're immature. He also mentions that Santino...
So he's a friend of a lot of my favorite people.
Let me rephrase that. He also mentioned Santino and how someone is going to eventually beat the fuck out of you and how you keep your head down around other talent. And then it says in parentheses, even though he does mention that you confronted Santino, so that's conflicting. They also bring up shit stain momentarily for someone who doesn't care less about you, and that's a quote. He certainly does seem to know an awful lot about you and clearly doesn't mind speaking about you on the air. What are your thoughts on this complete idiot, Jim? Have you ever had any extended interaction with him? And then I have another quote here from these comments that I thought was funny, where he says, there's a direct quote, people listen to what Jim's going to insult this week, and he's done it with me on things that weren't even true. And then it says, one of the examples, he's just a big steroid idiot.
What? Oh, I said that about him?
I guess you said that about him at some point.
That sounds kind of bland for me, doesn't it? I bet it was probably more complicated than that, but he just couldn't retain it. So he culled that out of it as a summation.
I wish him nothing but love and happiness. I hope he could find peace in his life because he just comes off like the most miserable human being on the existence of the planet. And I would hate to personally go the road of just talking shit about everyone to get people to listen to me. I think that is just lowbrow. It's not needed. So he basically says that we're just doing a show here. We're just making up and not really saying what we think here on the program.
We're just making this up. These people are not really doing these things that we're talking about. We're just making it all up. First of all, I'm trying to think, even at a fan fest or a convention or whatever, I've never met this guy. As I said, I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle because was he part of any of our WWE viewing experiments?
No.
He's been gone since then, right?
He's been gone for a while from there. Yeah.
I've heard he was the guy that CM Punk said he almost killed him and he was a reckless twat. I've heard he was the guy that we mentioned this on the show, which is probably where I did the fucking promo that got him pissed at me, where he said that he thought everybody on the card from first match to last should get paid the same thing because they're all contributing to the show. And we immediately shot that down because besides the fact that it's ridiculous in wrestling, you don't pay the fucking stunt man that doubles in fucking scene 2 the same thing as goddamn Bruce Willis in Die Hard. So he's just a fucking idiot. And maybe the steroids rattled his fucking brain. But but I can't really rebut him as a person because I know nothing about him to criticize and knock and insult in a creative way. He is right that people listen to the show to hear me take the piss out of shit, but the problem is, like a lot of these people, either to make them feel better about themselves or their friends that I knock or whatever, they put the cart before the horse. They think that I say these things to get people to listen. Unfortunately, it's the other way around, Fatback. That should be his name from now on, Fatback. I want some Fatback. Lamont, give me some Fatback. And Ripple. Or give me some champagne and Ripple. They call it sham pipple. Or eggnog and Ripple. They call it egg nipple. I used to love Sanford & Son. But anyway, Fatback. I say these things because it's my opinion and people listen to them because I'm the only one that's not full of shit. And I'm sorry if you think that I'm so misogynistic, because you probably are friends of Becky. I guess they work together. So maybe he's one of these people. Oh, he shouldn't have said that. I don't give a fuck. And I don't know don't know anything about Ryback or how to respond to him in a creative fashion. But they just can't get over the fact that people think these things about them and their fucking efforts in this business, and that somebody actually expresses an honest opinion. Say, oh, he's just saying that shit so people will listen to him. No, people listen to me because I say this shit, because that's the way I really feel. I could give a fuck whether any of y'all like me or not. I could give a fuck whether y'all drop over, turn blue, and burst into flames. Does not matter to me. I'm done trying to make excuses for people. As I said last week on the program, I put one guy over. I say, oh, this guy's got some talent. I turn on the fucking internet the next week. He's working with the Invisible Man. So I'm not going to say anything good about anybody else from now on, actually, because it makes me look bad when they do something stupid. But no, Fatback, I don't make shit up. I see it and I respond to it. If you don't like what I have to say, I hate that because I'm trying to be positive. But of all the people that ain't going to beat the fuck out of me, you're one of them. Or if you want to, then what's that phrase I've heard? I'm going to see how much money you got, motherfucker. Good God. Eddie, I keep my head down around it. He's never been around me. I've said, I mean, I think people have told stories about some of the things I've said to people. I don't go just in trying to pick fucking fights with people, but if I see somebody that I've been meaning to say something to for a while, chances are I'm going to say it to them. That has happened many times in the past. But I try to get along and be positive. If I go somewhere just because there's some asswipe that is a piece of shit on the fucking second match, I'm not going to disrupt the whole goddamn show to tell him. But I don't shy away from controversy.
All right, well, there's the attention you were seeking, Ryback. Let's get another question here.
It's Fatback.
Fatback?
It's Fatback.
Bareback.
No, I think it's just Fatback.
All right, well, our next question was sent in to CornyDriveThru.
Because you know them steroids, they give you a problem sometimes with going bareback.
Shouldn't it be pimpleback? If we're talking steroids?
There you go. That's another one. That's another one. But, you know, we should get a sponsor that manufactures skincare products so we can send Fatback some for them steroid bumps he's got.